Hi viewers, I'm Purple Celery. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the second of the 60th Doctor Who anniversary specials, The Wild Blue Yonder. So I just want to start by talking about the title. The word yonder is a strange one. It's quite archaic, old-fashioned. It basically means over there, in the distance. In recent times, probably the most famous use of the word yonder comes from the Bob Dylan song It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. In particular, the lyric, "Yonder stands your orphan with his gun." And of course, the Wild Blue Yonder is the unofficial name of the song of the US Air Forces. I believe it was referenced early in the episode. So with all that in mind, I was expecting an episode with a rather old-fashioned kind of a feel to it. Maybe even like a historical episode, or at least one with lots of callbacks to the past. When this episode began and I saw the credits 1666 and then we saw Isaac Newton, I thought, oh yeah, here we go, it's going to be a historical episode. But as it turns out, I was very, very wrong. This episode was certainly not what I expected. The Wild Blue Yonder was a weird episode. It was essentially what they call a bottle episode, consisting of the Doctor and Donna, with nobody else, running around a spaceship, encountering these scary doppelganger versions of themselves. In the hands of a lesser writer or lesser actors, I feel like this episode could have been tedious at best and completely naff at worst. Luckily for us, however, Russell T Davies is a very, very, very good writer. I think that this episode was really absorbing, really compelling. I never felt bored once in watching this episode. Again, the pacing was great, can't complain about that. It was a nice, clean episode. This episode was quite creepy and dark. There was a reference to suicide later in the episode, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it was overly bleak. And once again, David Tennant and Catherine Tate do this amazing, amazing job. I just love the subtle differences in their acting. For example, when they were playing their real characters versus the scary doppelganger versions of themselves. Just the subtle difference in the pitch of their voice or their facial expressions, things like that. I also love the dynamic between the Doctor and Donna. I love how these characters bicker with each other, they needle each other, but inherently they trust each other, they comfort each other. I love the scene towards the start where the Doctor sort of takes Donna's hand and holds it against his heart as if to say, Donna, believe me, with all my hearts, with both my hearts, I will get you home. In this single 45-minute episode, I felt more of a connection between the Doctor and Donna than I did between the 13th Doctor in Yaz in all three series of Chibnall's run. Soz Yaz. I also enjoyed the character development. We now see that Donna obviously has a family back home on Earth. She just can't go gallivanting off into the stars with the Doctor as she used to do in the past 15 years ago. That real sense of responsibility and I guess groundedness with her family on planet Earth came across quite strongly. I also liked the character development with the 14th Doctor. I liked how Russell T Davies isn't sweeping Flux completely under the carpet. I liked how clearly the fallout of the events that took place during Flux are still affecting the Doctor. I guess, for example, he still is, I guess, curious in some respects about where he really comes from. That's still an ongoing mystery with him. And also, obviously, seeing half the universe destroyed has an ongoing effect on this Doctor as well. On a lighter note, I also like how the 14th Doctor is a bit more open with his feelings as compared to previous Doctors, including the 10th Doctor. For example, where he mentions how he finds Isaac Newton hot, I did smile at that because it's not something like the 10th Doctor would have been forthright in saying. Incidentally, I also feel like Russell T Davies kind of threw that line in to upset the anti-woke brigade. And I suspect that he did the same when he cast an actor of South Asian descent to play Isaac Newton. I also loved the setting. That spaceship was just so visually impressive, wasn't it? I also love the kind of floating golf buggy hovercraft thingy that the Doctor and Donna ride upon. So I guess in fairness to Disney Plus for fronting up the budget, yeah, look, this episode visually was top notch. I did think that the climax was slightly unclear. I still wasn't sure exactly where those aliens had come from, how they got inside the spaceship, what exactly their end game was. I did pick up that they wanted to get control of the TARDIS, but I just wasn't quite sure what they intended to do with the TARDIS once they got it. I may have missed it, and a second viewing may give me that answer. I also would have liked to have known more about the ship and the captain and the original crew, because when you saw the skeleton of the captain, it looked like some kind of like a lizard bird type alien. And I just would have liked to have known more about, what species they were, what they were doing, what the purpose of the spaceship was, where it was going, things like that, just to get, I guess, more of a sense of the context. Also, as with last week's episode, I just didn't quite get the sense that this was like an anniversary special. If it was included in like a regular run of episodes, yes, it would have felt unique and outstanding, but it just didn't really have that, big celebratory 60th anniversary feel to it. But there is one more episode to go, so maybe we will get that. Oh, and just finally too, I just have to give a shout out to Wilf. Love seeing him. It was really, really sad that the actor passed away last year. I hope that we get to see more of him in next week's episode too. Overall, I'm hovering between a 7 and an 8 for this episode, so I'll split the difference, give it like a solid 7.5 out of 10. As always, these are just my thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys thought of the episode, so please leave your comments in the comments section below. Give this video a like and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I shall be back next week with the third of the 60th anniversary specials, which I believe is called The Giggle. Until then, this is Purple Celery, over and out. Thanks always for watching.